Hello, friends. All right, it's been a long time, actually in a new space. Pretty cool, love it, very happy about it. Next to Sports Rehab LA for all your chiropractic or rehabilitatory needs. And it's just a much more professional space than the garage was. Really happy to be here out in Encino, absolutely love it. And gonna begin the series again anew, and I think we'll just begin with core fundamentals, like what actually starts a golf swing. Hogan would write in his book, which I'm going to argue just for a second, and having watched so many videos of it, that the hands start the swing. And I, in watching a lot of videos of Hogan's swing, would say that the hands don't actually start the swing. And in watching Tiger and Rory, Adam Scott, DJ, any one of the #1 players in the world, if not every player in the world, I would say rather begins the swing with a weight transfer, a shift to the right side. There is no turn, there is no hand rotating, hinging, nothing, although there are quite a few players that do that, but more often the best players in the world begin the swing with a simple shift of weight to the right side. So I just love to get people thinking more about the lower body shifting the weight, more about the pivot shifting the weight, more about the flex of the right leg, the load of the right leg, the right hip, the ankle, the knee, shifting the weight for you so that you're actually connecting to the surface, connecting to the ground, able to utilize it. There's a mirror effect in the golf swing that whatever is happening on the backswing is probably going to happen on the downswing. And if we open and hinge, then we're going to come down and unhinge and square, and it just doesn't allow for the face to be shallow, the plane to be shallow, and the face to be square for very long. Whereas if I can keep it slow and low, and I'm doing it with a shift of weight and turn, creating an enormous amount of width in my golf swing instead of getting narrow and handsy and armsy, now the core and the pivot are driving the majority of the golf swing for me, which makes it incredibly efficient. It makes it really accurate, and it makes it less tiring to swing a golf club. If your hands and arms are doing too much work, you're fighting them. I mean, we've heard that term over and over again, like I'm fighting the arms in the swing. So I ask people, all my clients that come through here, to do this every chance they get. You don't have to have a golf club. You don't need anything. All you need to do is activate your core a little bit, shift your weight. Everyone messes this up. They end up like sliding and the hips are moving way out. That stays, this moves. The misnomer in golf that's probably done more harm than good is keep your head still. Taller guys like me suffer greatly through this because I'm leaving this here trying to turn and this is all going out. I'm losing balance on my foot. And without balance, how are you going to be accurate at throwing something this big at something that big and trying to hit a space on the club that big? It allows for us just to be a little bit more centered over ourselves when we move our head, when we're driving through the pivot. So I ask all my people, I don't care where you are, who you're talking to, if you start thinking about your golf swing, instead of moving your hands or arms, just transfer the weight. Pay attention to this hip. Do it in a mirror. Do it every chance that you get so you start programming this movement in your golf swing. And the more you do it, obviously, the more programmed it will be, and you won't need to consciously think about doing it so often. But if you're there and someone's talking and they're like, oh yeah, I just redid the kitchen. You don't care about the kitchen. We're all addicted like the rest of us to golf, and you're thinking about it and you wish you were golfing. If it's a law paper or if it's some bit of work and you're checking out of it, transfer your weight. Just start programming this flexion in this leg, this load in this leg that you really want driving the golf swing. All the great players get their power out of this hip, their ability to use the surface. And the sooner and quicker that you can connect with that surface in the beginning of the backswing to start the backswing to begin the golf swing, the more active it is going to be in transferring you and generating speed and force forward to make you more efficient, to make you more balanced, and to hopefully make the game a little bit more enjoyable. We all end up fighting our arms. They want to do way too much, and we think about them. It takes one swing for us to hit a terrible shot, and then all of a sudden, right arm's doing more and more and more, and the round just gets progressively worse because you're trying to time it up. Golf is a sequence of movements, and the more you think about those sequence of movements, the more the sequence becomes automated for us, so hopefully maybe someday we can be thoughtless, which very rarely happens. Everybody's got something they're thinking about. I think, and I believe this pretty firmly, that every golfer in the world is working on something. No one's out there like, yeah, I got it fucking figured out. Which, never say that, because as soon as you say it, it's fucking gone. So, we're gonna begin this sequence of new videos with just like, what's the first move? What's the second move? What happens in position 3, etc., so on. I just discuss it a little bit differently in my own terms. I think the beginning of the swing is just activating, tucking the tailbone, getting a little bit more sway out of the back, so we're a little bit more active around here. We don't see too many pro golfers that are like really sticking their gut out. There's quite a few of high handicappers out there with a gut. It's okay, still just get to the place where you're kind of rolling and tucking that tailbone under you to activate the high glutes. It activates the hamstrings, it activates the obliques and the abdominals, so that those can move us in space and get us to our right heel. We go from balls of feet right to heel. Every golfer you watch, you'll watch that knee flex. You'll watch them shift back. The crime of how we watch golf is it's always down the line. The more often that you can see it face on caddy view, you'll see this move happening. Every single player does it. They're here. Then they're trying to push through their core and load into an already loaded leg, creating more force, more stability, more balance, ideally. So anybody's talking to you and you start thinking about your golf swing, boom, just flex that leg. If you can lift this one up, even better. Let your head pivot over your right side. No hip slide. Just sit on that heel and then maybe start turning a little bit. Feel the flex in this leg. You can watch Rory and Tiger, anybody that's a great player, they flex this leg like crazy. Most of us just kind of like stand on it and then it leaks out. Then we're reverse pivoting. Now we're trying to come through and time it up, getting really, really steep. This is the first move in learning how to better pivot away to shallow the golf club and lead and use the ground force that we read so much about to your advantage. At address, bump those hips forward if you're a big reverse pivoter, if you set up in reverse pivot. Just bump those hips forward to get your head already behind you. I'm 50-50 right now. Now I'm 90-10. I get to here, I'm 98, 2%. The first move down is just getting some weight over there, but not letting it reverse pivot through the shoulders over, and that's an entirely different subject, sorry. I got ahead of myself, my Flinians. I'll bring it on back, but you don't need a golf course to work on your golf swing. You don't need a driving range. A simulator is really helpful. Come check out the new one in Encino. Highly recommend it. Great time. Somebody's talking to you, pivot. Load the leg and get used to that, really connecting you to the ground and being the first move in your golf swing. Thank you very much. Origato toyo. Talk to you next time. Happy golfing.